Hello everyone. So in this part we will take about the digestion of food. So as you know that the food which we intake is in the complex form. You can say that these are carbohydrate, fats, proteins and nucleic acid. These are the very complex form. So for absorption of that food, it has to be digested. It has to be digested means these are the complex and insoluble macromolecule, and these has to be converted into small monomers by the action of enzymes. Macromolecules means those molecules which have high molecular weight, and the micromolecules means have low molecular weight. So macromolecule, you can say biomacromolecule. Actually these are present in living organisms, so you can also say that these are biomacromolecules. So biomacromolecules has to be converted in biomicromolecules with the help of enzymes. So let us start with the digestion process. From the mouth, the food enters into the buccal cavity. In buccal cavity, you know that teeth, tongue and salivary gland is present. So what is the function of teeth and tongue? As you know that teeth help in the mastication of food. Mastication means churning of food. Helps in the breakdown of large food particles into small food particles, and helps in the mixing of food. On the other hand, the saliva is secreted by the salivary gland, which contains mucus. So mucus helps in to mix the masticated food and form the bolus. Bolus is actually ball like structure which is formed due to the mucus. Now this bolus is passed to pharynx and esophagus by swallowing or deglutition. Deglutition process, actually swallowing is deglutition, in which the bolus is passed to the pharynx and esophagus. After that, chemical digestion of food also starts in the oral cavity, means this is the physical digestion only. Now the chemical digestion also occurs in the oral cavity by the action of an enzyme, that is salivary amylase and lysozyme. As I already told you that saliva is secreted by the salivary gland, and saliva contains an enzyme that is known as salivary amylase. The salivary amylase helps in the digestion of only starch, only carbohydrate. Proteins and fats are not digested into the oral cavity. This is very important point, that only the chemical digestion of carbohydrates takes place in the oral cavity. So actually lysozyme acts as the antibacterial agent in mouth to prevent infection, means if with the food any germs, any microorganisms enters in our body, our oral cavity, then lysozyme helps in the acts as the antibacterial agent. Salivary amylase breaks down starch into maltose. Now what is maltose? Let us understand the meaning of these two terms, starch and maltose. Actually starch is the polysaccharide form. Polysaccharide means many sugars units are present. On the other hand, maltose is disaccharide. Hope you can understand that. And finally it has to be converted into simpler food particle, that is glucose. Glucose is monosaccharide. Poly means many units are present, di means only two units are present, and mono means only one unit is present. So from poly, here the carbohydrate converted into disaccharide form, and after that it has to be converted into monosaccharide form. So maltose is the disaccharide form. After that, so this reaction you can say that starch with the help of salivary amylase converts into maltose, and here the pH is 6.8, near about neutral you can say. After the oral cavity or buccal cavity, food enters into the stomach with the help of esophagus from by the peristaltic movement. We had discussed it already. So mucus of stomach has gastric glands, which has three types of cell. Mucous neck cell, that secretes mucus neck cell secretes mucus, and after that peptic or chief cells that secrete proenzyme pepsinogen, and then parietal or oxyntic cells that secrete HCl. So you can see here there are three things are released, that is mucus. First is mucus, the second one is the proenzyme pepsinogen, and third one is the HCl. Now let us study these function one by one. Actually the pepsinogen, it is the inactive form. Inactive form, this is the enzyme which can digest protein, but it is inactive form. It has to be converted into the pepsin for the digestion. Now how the pepsinogen convert into the pepsin, this is the question arises. So HCl, which is secreted by the oxyntic cell, or you can say parietal cells, these cells HCl helps in the conversion of pepsinogen into pepsin, which is the activated form. Means the pepsin now acts on the proteins and helps in its digestion. So function of HCl is that it activates the pepsinogen enzyme, and another function is that it helps to kill the germs if enters into the body through the food. These are the functions of HCl. After that, the pepsinogen helps in the digestion of proteins, and third one is the mucus. Actually, you know that HCl very acidic is nature. The pH of HCl is about 1 to 2, so it can harms the walls of stomach. So for the protection of stomach from HCl, mucus is present. Mucus lines the wall of stomach and helps the wall of stomach from HCl. So let us see. Food mixes with gastric juice due to churning action of muscular wall to form chyme. The food which is digested here is known as chyme. HCl activates the pepsinogen to pepsin to digest proteins into peptones and proteases. This is also the same case as I already told you about the carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is polysaccharide, maltose is disaccharide. Similarly, here many proteins have many amino acids. Proteoses and peptones have less number of amino acids, and after that it has to be converted into amino acids. After that, mucus and bicarbonate present in the gastric juice plays an important role in lubrication and protecting the inner wall of stomach from the HCl. Now next one more enzyme is present in the case of childhood age, renin. Actually, it is also a proteolytic enzyme which helps to digest the milk protein in infants. So let us understand the meaning of physical, mechanical and chemical digestion. Actually, mechanical digestion is only the breakdown of food particle, physically breaking the food into small pieces, and mechanical digestion begins in the mouth as the food is chewed, and the chemical digestion involves breaking down of food into simpler nutrients that can be used by the cells. The food which is digested here from mechanical digestion can't be consumed by the cells. Chemical digestion begins in mouth where the food mixes with saliva, where the enzyme salivary amylase helps in the digestion of carbohydrate. So chemical digestion mainly takes place in this part and physical digestion takes place in this part. Only the chemical digestion of carbohydrates takes place here. Now see in this diagram, after the stomach, the food enters into the small intestine, and small intestine receives the secretion from liver and the pancreas. We had discussed in the first part. So after that, the bile juice which is secreted from liver, pancreatic juice which is secreted from pancreas, and intestinal juice which is secreted from intestine itself. These three juices are released in the small intestine. Now the pancreatic juice contains some enzymes that are trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, procarboxypeptidase, amylase, lipase and nuclease. From these first three, trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen and procarboxypeptidase, these are the inactive form. Again, inactive form means they can't work as it is. They has to be converted into their active forms. So trypsinogen, first of all, trypsinogen is activated by the enzyme enterokinase. Enterokinase is also secreted by the pancreatic juice. Enterokinase converts into trypsin, means trypsinogen now converts into trypsin, which further activates the other enzyme of intestinal juice. Trypsinogen converts the another enzyme. Trypsinogen, this converts into trypsin with the help of enterokinase. Now trypsin further converts chymotrypsinogen into trypsinogen and procarboxypeptidase into carboxypeptidase, which are the activated forms. So you can see here that trypsin helps in the trypsin, chymotrypsin and carboxypeptidase. These three are the proteolytic enzyme. Proteolytic means these helps in the digestion of proteins. So you can see proteins, peptones which are formed during the digestion of proteins in stomach. These are digested by trypsin, chymotrypsinogen, carboxypeptidase into dipeptides. Dipeptides means which contains only two amino acid. Now it has to be converted into a single amino acid with the help of enzymes further. So after that, you can see here polysaccharide, that is starch. Amylase helps to convert polysaccharide into disaccharide. Disaccharides have many forms: maltose, so you can see here maltose, lactose and sucrose. And fats are digested into diglycerides and monoglyceride with the help of enzyme lipase is only fat digesting enzyme. Actually, the bile juice, which is secreted by the liver, it contains bile pigments, that is bilirubin and bilirubin. Bile salts, cholesterol, and phospholipids, which helps in the emulsification of fat. Bile juice has mainly two functions: that it provides the alkaline medium. As you studied that in stomach there is HCl is present, so the acidic medium is present here because the pepsin, because to convert pepsinogen into pepsin. But intestinal enzymes and pancreatic enzymes doesn't work in the acidic medium. So bile juice provides the alkaline medium for the functioning of intestinal enzymes, or you can say pancreatic enzymes also. So bile has mainly two functions: it helps in the emulsification of fat, means digestion of fat, large particles into small particles, and they provide the alkaline medium to the for the functioning of pancreatic or intestinal enzymes. You can see in this diagram that dipeptides are converted into amino acids. This is the final digestion. Dipeptides converts into amino acid. Maltose converts into glucose plus glucose, means two glucose units form the maltose with the help of enzyme maltase. Then lactose converts into glucose plus galactose. Sucrose converts into glucose plus fructose. These three are the carbohydrates, this is the protein, and finally this one is the fat. Di and monoglyceride with the help of lipase converts fatty acid and glycerol. This one more thing, that is nucleotide is converted into nucleoside, and after that sugar and bases with the help of enzyme nucleotidases and nucleosidases. So here complete digestion takes place. Actually, secretion of brush border cells of mucosa and goblet cells contain enzymes, that is succus entericus. Intestinal juice is also known as succus entericus. These also contain a variety of enzyme to complete the process of digestion. Now comes to the function of large intestine. Actually, large intestine, the main function of large intestine is that it helps in the absorption of water, mineral and certain drugs from the digested food. And next one is the secretion of mucus for adhering the undigested food and lubricating it for easy passage. In the undigested food has to be transferred to the large intestine, and large intestine secretes some mucus which helps in the adhering means paste, इकट्ठा करना उनको undigested food and lubricating it for easy passage. Now the food has to be absorbed. After the digestion, the food has to be absorbed. Actually, absorption is the process by which nutrients pass from the alimentary canal into the blood and lymph through the mucous membrane. Means now the food which is digested has to be passed into the blood vessel, or you can say in the lymph. Amino acids, monosaccharide, fatty acid and glycerol. As you know that these are the simplest particles, simplest food which is formed after digestion. These are to be absorbed. After 90% of digestion occurs in the small intestine, means 90% absorption occurs in small intestine and 10% takes place from stomach, mouth and large intestine. The passage of different absorbent depends upon the concentration gradient for some substance like glucose, amino acid and electrolytes. Means concentration gradient matters here. For example, in the intestine the digested food is present in large quantity, but in blood there is no food. So along the concentration gradient, the amino acid monosaccharides passed into the bloodstream. This is the table which shows that which food is absorbed by the which part. Now comes to last topic, that is the disorder of digestive system. Actually, the inflammation of intestinal tract due to bacterial infection, fungal infection and parasitic infection caused by tapeworm, roundworm, threadworms and pinworms. Inflammation of intestinal tract can be due to these worms. So first is our first main disorder, that is jaundice. You had heard about in your life also. It is actually a disease of liver. In jaundice, the skin and the eyes turn yellow due to large quantity of bilirubin pigments in the extracellular fluid. As you know that bile secrete the pigments, that is bilirubin and bilirubin. So due to the large quantity of bilirubin, jaundice has taken, and due to this the eyes turns yellow. This disease is also known as pilia. After that, vomiting, you are aware about that. It is actually the ejection of stomach content through the mouth, means through back ejection, you can say वापस निकलना. This reflex action is controlled by the vomit center in the medulla. Medulla is actually the part of brain, medulla oblongata, which controls the activities like vomiting, etc. Next one is the diarrhea. Diarrhea is frequent defecation of liquid feces, is known as diarrhea. Means the removal of waste particle in the form of liquids. It reduces the absorption of food. In this case, absorption of food doesn't takes place. That's why there is frequent defecation takes place. After that, constipation. In constipation, the feces are retained within the rectum. These both are opposite. In diarrhea, there is frequent defecation, and in constipation the feces are retained within the rectum as the bowel movements occur regularly. After the last is indigestion. Indigestion, incomplete digestion, usually accompanied by one or more of the following symptoms. Means incomplete digestion takes place in our body, due to which pain in stomach, nausea, vomiting, heartburn, and regurgitation, accumulation of gases, and escape of gases from the stomach. And so we all are aware from this disease, because in normal life these diseases are very common. So these are the disorder of digestive system. Thank you.